Hi again, everybody. Welcome to Inside Golf. I'm Harry Donahue. Coming up on today's show, we're going to show you what GAP does every year. Honor all their volunteers, people who go to the events, keep score, keep logistics. Dozens of them showed up this year. The event was held at RiverCrest. It's GAP's way of saying thank you to all their year-long volunteers. And a look at the brand new First Tee program of Philadelphia's Learning Center at Walnut Lane, a clubhouse actually. We were there when they were demolishing the existing clubhouse. Well, now in a very short period of time they turned it around and it is spectacular, including the Michael J. Brown Learning Center. Mike Brown, he's a fixture on our show. He's a fixture with the First Tee. What he's done to help the First Tee grow in Philadelphia, and he was honored at the ribbon cutting at the brand new clubhouse at Walnut Lane. So it's GAP's thank you to volunteers and the christening of the brand new clubhouse for the First Tee at Walnut Lane. Next, here on Inside Golf. The 27th season of Inside Golf is presented by Destination Montco Golf, the First Tee of Greater Philadelphia, the Philadelphia Association of Golf Course Superintendents, the Golf Association of Philadelphia, GAP, Jersey Man and Philly Man Magazine, and Inside Golf's partner since 1998, the Philadelphia section of the PGA.
Golf is the great equalizer. For many, this journey is an escape from reality, a chance to be part of a team, a career opportunity. PGA Reach impacts lives through golf by lifting people up, giving them hope, and sending them down an alternate path that they never saw coming. With PGA Reach Philadelphia, as in life and in golf, the most important shot you take is the next one.
The Golf Association of Philadelphia. Founded in 1897, GAP is the nation's oldest regional or state golf association. We serve amateur golf in Eastern PA, Southern New Jersey, and all of Delaware. GAP welcomes all golfers, junior or senior, male or female, public or private. Join the Golf Association of Philadelphia today. Our mission is always to preserve, protect, and promote the great game of golf. Before you tee it up, look us up. Visit gapgolf.org to find out more.
Okay, fam. Quick stop in Montgomery County, but we have to be at Grandma's by 5 p.m.
Do we have time to stop at the mall?
KOP!
Yes!
Do we have time to hit the slopes?
Skiing at Spring Mountain.
Do we have time for Santa?
If we have time for wildlife at the zoo!
Do we have time for food?
I have a list of 1,800 restaurants.
Yum! Do we have time for an overnight?
I feel like we're forgetting something.
When you spend the holidays in Montgomery County, your other plans can wait.
Honey, call them again.
Welcome back to Inside Golf. Well, in the introduction to today's show, we talked about what GAP does every year to thank its volunteers. This year, the big event was held at RiverCrest. The volunteers played a little golf, got something to eat, and they got a big pat on the back from the Golf Association of Philadelphia. And here to tell us all about the day, from GAP, Director of Operations, Marty Emino.
Thanks, Harry. There is no doubt volunteers are the lifeblood of GAP. It's been that way since the very beginning. In 1897, 7 men volunteered their time and expertise to form the first state or regional golf association in the country, GAP. Today, more than 400 men and women take time out of their personal and work schedules to make sure GAP's high-profile services, tournaments, and course ratings run smoothly. The GAP footprint lies within a massive geographic profile. It stretches from the middle of Pennsylvania near Bellefonte all the way east, incorporating southern New Jersey, all of Delaware, and even a few clubs in the top portion of Maryland. Volunteers assist the association in administering more than 200 tournaments with more than 10,000 total participants. Volunteers also rate more than 50 courses a year.
Perfect. Okay, we're good.
Tournament volunteers, rules officials, course raters, all are needed.
I was looking to give something back to the game, and I kind of slipped into course rating, And it's very rewarding. I enjoy it. It's kind of like visual math, I guess you would call it, which I prefer to number math. And I've been doing it ever since.
I had been golf chairman at Bluebell and my term was up and I still wanted to be doing something, and I saw Fred and he said, why don't you try course rating? So I came out and been doing it ever since. And I enjoyed actually meeting with the people, talking to the pro shop, talking to the superintendents, getting a feel for the golf course, and just going out, looking at it and seeing the differences between all the different kind of golf courses around.
I've gotten to rate wonderful courses, so it is an opportunity to do that. I'm kind of a golf course geek in terms of course architecture and turf and agronomy, so it really gives me an opportunity to get some insight and put that whole package together.
I just found the rules very interesting because so few people actually know the rules. So I found it to be a challenge to try to be as good as you can be with the rules. You're never done learning. It's interesting to sit with like Carl Berlinger and other people like that who have done it even longer than me. And you never know what you're going to learn just by sitting and discussing the rules.
At RiverCrest Golf Club and Preserve in Phoenixville, Pennsylvania, the association recognized and thanked those volunteers with a day of lunch, golf, and dinner. Annually, it's one of the best days in Gap and comes after a long season.
I've been volunteering for about 20 years, and I started volunteering for GAP because my father was a GAP volunteer and rules official. He loved golf, loved to play amateur golf at a very high level, and as he got older, wanted to stay part of the game, and so he became a rules official and spent a lot of time in the GAP office with a lot of folks that we see weekly. I love meeting with the people, and everyone is so interesting, and I've learned so much by being a part of this organization. I learn something new every time I volunteer.
It's been a very rewarding thing to do. Everybody at the Gap treats you as an honored guest at everything you show up for.
The one common trait for those that give their time? Passion. A passion for the game, a passion to make Gap better, a passion to give back to the game of a lifetime. Reporting for Gap, I'm Marty Emino.
And a big thank you from us, like Gap, to all their volunteers. Every year they put in the time and the effort, and Gap makes sure that they are rewarded with a little thank you at the end of the season. All right, stay with us. Coming up when we come back, we're going back to Walnut Lane. A new look at the clubhouse. Beautiful, beautiful building and facility, the Mike Brown Learning Center, all for the first tee of Philadelphia. That's next here on Inside Golf.
The J. Wood Platt Caddy Scholarship Trust is the official charitable arm of GAP. The Trust's mission is to financially aid and empower qualified caddies and those working in golf operations in the pursuit of higher education. Over $25 million has been awarded to more than 3,700 caddies. J. Wood Platt's Empower program strengthens scholarship investment dollars by providing our scholars with exceptional benefits. Visit our website, plattscholar.org, to learn more.
For over 2 decades, First Tee has created experiences that build character. We believe every kid deserves to feel supported, safe to try something new, and to be prepared for what comes next. We develop their swing, but more importantly, their inner strength. Because we know what's inside doesn't just count, it changes the game. Come join us at First Tee.
Welcome back to Inside Golf. You know, back in the spring, we were at Walnut Lane as they were in the demolition phase for a new clubhouse right in Roxborough. Well, guess what? They have the new clubhouse. It's beautiful. And it's a tribute to what the First Tee program of Philadelphia is all about, because Walnut Lane, one of the headquarter courses of the First Tee. Let's take a look at how it turned out, in particular, the Michael Brown Learning Center for students involved in the First Tee program of Philadelphia.
To say thank you to everyone for coming out here today. I was in charge of the weather. Today's a special day for many reasons. This new learning center will
one of the coolest things about this place is when I was a kid growing up, nobody thought that golf was cool. And I, broke that barrier and I played golf, and golf afforded me an opportunity where every day I would come over here and I'd hit golf balls. And I fell in love with the game, and golf was kind of my friend. Yeah. It's hard to believe that someone like me that loves to talk, that I would be hitting golf balls by myself. But that's really what kind of turned it on for me. And then I had some success.
Back in April, the clubhouse at Walnut Lane began a major $3.3 million renovation. The new Learning Center, which is at 800 Walnut Lane in Philadelphia, will serve as the organization's hub for golf, education, and leadership development for local youth.
In order to keep kids and retain them and have them come every afternoon, it has to be a nice, safe place and fun. And when you see what goes on inside now, there's 2 simulators, there's a synthetic putting green. It's a warm, welcoming place, and it's a safe haven for these kids that will go back into their neighborhoods that maybe aren't so safe.
Complete with a classroom and 2 indoor golf simulators, the Learning Center allows the organization to provide year-round access to its programs, emphasizing the development of life skills. At the opening ceremony, First Tee board member Mike Quick helped cut the ribbon on the Michael J. Brown Learning Center. And 6 ABC Action News anchor Matt O'Donnell served as the MC. Kyle Spaulding is the director of golf at Walnut Lane. Kyle knows firsthand what this new facility means for kids and for golfers in the Philadelphia area.
Flexibility and perseverance. From going from not being able to, host events properly, kind of just having a clubhouse that's more of a bunker for, some catastrophic storm, to now being able to have a pro shop, use a simulator, the classroom, full bar for the golfer. So somewhere, that everyone can come and enjoy versus, just check in and get out and play. Rather now, it's something for the community where everybody can, take part and really, have fun and use. Now we can, have people in there and they really enjoy it and sit down and have a beer after the round or watch TV. Then the kids come in and just excited to be able to do something inside. And it's really going to help with our winter programming, to be able to offer classes all throughout the year versus, trying to have it outside and it snows and then we can't really do anything.
10 years ago, we had roofs that leaked onto office desks, clubhouse lights that didn't work, and we grew more grass in the 21 sand traps than we did on the putting greens.
I am humbled because I grew up here, but it did change my life. I learned how to play golf. I've played with vice presidents, I've played with CEOs, I've played with baseball players. Golf did that for me, which enabled me to have the life that I'm really proud of. But my wife and I really believe if you're given an opportunity, you have to give back. So together, her and I, we gave back at our church, we gave back at our school, and First Tee, golf's been great. So we're going to continue to give.
It just shows the dedication to our young people and the young people in the greater Philadelphia area. It's incredible. Like, I was a part of the program, I grew up through the program, so it's like a full circle moment for me coming to Walnut Lane as a kid and having my first round here to now, operating on a daily basis. It's just a program where we really try to get kids to grow and learn and take all the key values and all the core values and key commitments and everything like that, and then just really grow into great adults that can, make a difference. And I could say I'm one of those adults, and the program really works.
Let's continue to work together to change the lives of kids one at a time. Thank you.
I think it's safe to say Walnut Lane has never looked any better. Great job by Bill Hyman, Michael Brown, and the First Tee program of Philadelphia. Those kids are really going to enjoy it. They've got everything right at their fingertips. And congratulations to our friend Brownie for what he's done. And now his name is on the Learning Center at the First Tee at Walnut Lane. All right, stay with us. Up next, Teed Off. Our teed-off panel is brought to you by Lulu Country Club. Welcome back. Inside Golf continues. We're at Lulu, of course. Time to have our teed-off panel talk about a topic. And today the panel consists of, once again, Harry Mays, longtime Philly sports radio host also of the podcast Swing It and Ding It, and a frequent contributor, thank goodness, to Inside Golf. Good to see you, buddy.
Good to see you, Harry.
We also have Joe Logan. He's been around here, I don't know, we're going into our 28th year pretty soon, and you've been here for 30 or more. Joe Logan, myphillygolf.com, myphillygolf.com, and he's going to like this topic. Of course, he's going to talk about writing, and we're going to find out all about his prolific career as an author. Ken Phillips is in his first year as the president of the Golf Association of Philadelphia. He's a member at Lancaster Country Club. Great year they had at Lancaster, I know that.
Thank
you. The Women's Open showcased beautifully by television, the Golf Channel and everything. What a great job you folks did out there, Ken. All right, holiday time, folks, presents. Maybe you haven't completed your list. And when it comes to maybe a golfer in your life, how about a book? Now, I have a couple here, including, I just found out from Ken, his favorite, my favorite, The Match by Mark Frost. It was a real live event back in the 50s out at Monterey Peninsula. Hogan, Nelson, Venturi, and Harvey Ward. Two amateurs, two pros. What a book. And then you got Tom Coyne. You got our own Michael Bamberger from the Philly area. He's written several books. And John Riley, he's been on the show talking about his most recent book about the great amateur from Philadelphia, Huntington Valley, Bill Heidman. He's got one on Porky Oliver from Wilmington. All right, that being said, Harry, are you a prolific reader of golf books in particular?
I'm not a prolific reader, but I do read books, and I read them slowly. And I'll maybe have 3 or 4 going in the rotation and go maybe a chapter here, a chapter there. And I do it during the off season, so right around now is when that'll sort of heat up.
Helps you get through the winter.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. I'm just working with a few right here. The Will to Win, obviously, I got that just started. The Culture of Golf, written by Larry Hirsch, who's a member at the 1912 Club. The Phil book.
Local. Oh, the
Phil book, obviously, I'm about halfway through that.
That's the whole live thing and everything.
Shipnuck, yeah. And then this one, The 4 Foundations of Golf by John Sherman.
There's only 4?
Well, I can only handle 4. Maybe not even that many, but yeah.
So some good tableside, bedside reading. With,
sure. In the off-season.
List. Okay. Now, Joe, as I mentioned, you've been a writer. You covered golf for the Philly Inquirer for years. You have your podcast with myphillygolf.com. I don't know how many numerous articles that you have contributed to golf. What do you have actually published a book though, like a fiction, nonfiction?
The Inquirer published years ago a collection of golf course reviews that I wrote, and that sold quite well. Put my kid through college for
Still getting royalties from that?
No,
nobody gets royalties from newspapers anymore, do they?
No, I've done a couple club histories, but not the kind of book you talk about.
Okay, but you could. Do you ever think about it? What would you write about? Is there an individual, a fiction, nonfiction? What would you prefer?
Yeah, I thought about it. I was actually going to write a biography of Sean O'Hare back when he was years ago.
When he was Sean O'Hare, yeah.
But he felt he was too young and he had a lot of left career, and it turns out to be a good move because he's kind of disappeared from the scene a little.
But do you have any favorites?
Yeah, I have all kinds of favorites. I mean, 2 of my favorite writers are friends of mine. Both live here. Tom Coyne, who's written a trilogy of books.
Right.
A course called Scotland, a course called Ireland.
And his most recent one.
A course called America.
In fact, he mentions Lulu in that book because his father used to play here, and that's one of the, 50 or 60 courses he talks about in a course called America.
Well, I think the America book is the best of the bunch. The Ireland book, he was figuring how to do it. The Scotland book was okay, but the America book was the best. And Bamberger has written a bunch of books. He's, one of the premier...
Another Inquirer guy.
Yeah, I know. I used to play still play golf with him, but I used to play a lot of golf with him. And he's written like Men in Green, Balls in the Air, that reissue of To the Lynx Land, which he wrote when he was still at the Inquirer. He took a year off and went to Europe and caddied and wrote that book. So
Ball in the Air is his most recent one. It came out last year, and we did a show with him over at St. Martin's at the Cricket Club concerning that. How about you, Ken? Any favorites?
We all have a library probably. I love the
self-help books, maybe. Bob Rotella.
Like lessons?
Yeah.
And psychology too.
Bob Rotella, Golf's on a Game of Perfect is
Right.
my favorite book.
Keep it in the present.
I read it, I'll pick up a chapter or two or whatever. If I'm not playing well, I'll go back to something. Harvey Pennock's books, Little Red Book, and I have 3 of his books.
Yeah.
Just little short things, which I really like. It's fun the winter time, when you have time to sit down for an hour.
Do you highlight
maybe,
certain passages, that?
You should see my Bob Rotella book. It is just
Really? Have you ever been in person with Bob Rotella?
I actually have, yeah.
Yeah. We did a show with him.
Not as a client.
Okay.
But he played in the member guest once at Lancaster. So I got a chance to.
And he was really he goes back several years, like 20 plus years.
He's
That's
Virginia,
become a niche industry now. Every player, regardless of their level, has a member of their team, somebody that's talking to them about your psychology. How do you approach this shot? What are you thinking? Forget about bad shots. The next shot's the most important shot, all that stuff, And he was really a pioneer,
He
right?
was.
A trailblazer when it came to that.
Yeah.
And I think he coached at
Virginia.
University of Virginia,
Yeah,
right?
he was down there.
Yeah, that's something. You brought up an interesting topic about going back. Like, you just don't read the match maybe and put it on the shelf and have to go dust it off. You say, hey, you know what? I'd like to read a couple, even if it's only a couple chapters.
Yeah.
Because what really fascinated me about this book, Mark Frost, I believe he wrote some screenplays. Hill Street Blues, I think, was one of his. And I never realized why they never made it into a movie. It would have made a great movie. There's so many moving parts and famous people involved. Hogan, Nelson, Harvey Ward, great amateur, and at the same time Venturi, and Eddie, the little guy, Eddie Lowry, who caddied for We Met, right up at Brookline. He put the whole thing together, and it was like, wow. When you look at history in America, this book exposes so much history. It was 1954, Crosby's Clambake, a practice round that turned into the match. Isn't it? It was fascinating, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Huh? Why do you think, Joe? I mean, this may be everybody's favorite book.
Well, it was a compelling match, but it requires a good writer can make a good book or a good story out of anything, or any story in the hands of a good writer.
And when he got around to writing the book, if I'm not mistaken, Harry, the only living participant in that whole event was Kenny Venturi.
Venturi, yeah.
Harvey died, Byron died, and so did, of course, Mr. Hogan. And the one thing that really fascinated me, Eddie Lowry, when he was putting it together, played both ends against the middle because he didn't think Hogan and Byron would play amateurs. And he said, no, Ben, I got Byron. He didn't even talk to Byron yet, And Byron said, you really got Hogan? If you got Hogan, I'm in, Bingo. Harvey Ward showing up without his shoes on, coming down 17-mile road because they were supposed to play, I believe, at Pebble. Word got out, and they went to Cyprus. Huh? I mean, talk about elevating probably the conditions a little bit, but what a fascinating book. What a fascinating. Any contributions here at the end as we wrap this up?
My father knew Harvey Ward.
Did he?
They were friends.
North Carolina?
That's right. They grew up in the same town. They knew each other 50 years.
What did they say? How come he was married 5 times? He said he couldn't.
Because he couldn't be married 5 times, all too well-off women.
He did pretty well for himself.
He did very well.
Fascinating thing. Hey, maybe on your gift list for somebody in your family, maybe for yourself, go out and buy a book and enjoy it forever. Thanks, guys. Back with more. Inside Golf continues in a moment.
PGA Works is on a mission to ensure that the golf workforce looks more like America. This mission is a dream with a plan. Through fellowships, college scholarships, career exploration events, and championship golf. PGA Works is inspiring talent from diverse backgrounds to pursue careers throughout the golf industry. Visit pgareach.org.
Okay, quick stop in Montgomery County.
Do we have time to stop at the mall?
Do we have time to hit the slopes?
Do we have time for Santa?
If we have time for wildlife at the zoo.
Do we have time for food? Do we have time for an overnight?
There's always time for more holiday magic in Montgomery County.
The Golf Association of Philadelphia, Founded in 1897, GAP is the nation's oldest regional or state golf association. We serve amateur golf in Eastern PA, Southern New Jersey, and all of Delaware. GAP welcomes all golfers, junior or senior, male or female, public or private. Join the Golf Association of Philadelphia today. Our mission is always to preserve, protect, and promote the great game of golf. Before you tee it up, look us up. Visit gapgolf.org to find out more.
Hi, Tony Salucci with the Beacon Group of Companies. If your company has between 50 and 500 employees enrolled in your health insurance plan, there's a really good chance we can reduce your costs significantly and increase the benefits employees receive. How do we do it? We put you together with several thousand employers of a similar size across the country so your company can get amazing buying power. Schedule a conversation with one of our employee benefits specialists today at mybeacongroup.com.
Well, that's going to do it for this week's edition of Inside Golf. You know, I was just thinking, you saw what GAP does for its volunteers every year, the people that work all the events. Maybe if you have some time on your hands next season, get in touch with GAP. They never have enough volunteers, and then you can be part of the party at the end of the year. And how about that Walnut Lane Clubhouse? They did that in like, what, 8 months? The Learning Center, named in honor of the great Mike Brown. What a place. Get over to Walnut Lane and see what it's like. Play a little golf over there in East Falls. I'm Harry Donahue. Hey, no matter how it's going for you out there, in golf, off the course, don't pick up. We'll see you next time here on Inside Golf. The 27th season of Inside Golf is presented by Destination Montco Golf, the First Tee of Greater Philadelphia, the Philadelphia Association of Golf Course Superintendents, the Golf Association of Philadelphia, GAP, Jersey Man and Philly Man Magazine, and Inside Golf's partner since 1998, the Philadelphia section of the PGA.